A friendly photo op if there ever was one. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo in Riyadh, all smiles, with the man accused abroad of orchestrating Jamal Khashoggi's apparent assassination. That's Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman.
Thank you for hosting me.
With King Salman, too, Pompeo's public demeanor hardly countered the criticism that Washington's going soft on the Saudi royals.
Allies of the Saudi Arabian government must take a strong stance protecting activists and dissidents. This is exactly what Jamal was writing about.
The U.S. president again amplified the kingdom's defense, tweeting, "Just spoke with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, who totally denied any knowledge of what took place." Tonight, he added,
"If they knew about it, that would be bad."
In Istanbul, the steady stream of investigators who finally entered the Saudi consulate apparently came back with new clues. Turkey's president said toxic materials had been painted over. Turkish police reportedly found evidence Khashoggi was killed there, the last place he was seen.
2 weeks is a very long time for the probable scene of a crime not to have been subjected to a full forensic investigation.
Remember, the so-called Saudi hit squad was seen leaving the consulate, taking that black van to the Saudi consul's residence. Today, he fled the country, though the consul was seen here 10 days ago giving a tour of his offices, opening cupboards as if to bizarrely say, "There's no body hidden here." Authorities still want to search the consul's home. It's the next step in an investigation that has transfixed the world and yet offered very few clear answers. Thomas Daigle, CBC News, London.
Now, Canada's relationship with Saudi Arabia is already strained over human rights concerns. Ottawa's tweets criticizing the country sparked a diplomatic dispute that has yet to be resolved. As Murray Brewster now tells us, though, Jamal Khashoggi's disappearance has some questioning, again, whether this country should be selling light armored vehicles to Saudi Arabia.
Fundamentally, this issue is a matter of principle.
It has been the classic refrain ever since the Liberals said yes to the deal to sell armored vehicles to Saudi Arabia over the objections of human rights groups.
We will be respecting that contract.
After the international outrage over the disappearance and possible murder of journalist Jamal Khashoggi, the message is the same.
When it comes to existing contracts, our government believes strongly that Canada's word has to matter.
Former Canadian Ambassador Dennis Horak was kicked out of Saudi Arabia in August after this tweet criticized the jailing of human rights activists. Despite that, he is still firmly behind the arms sale.
It's a good deal for Canada.
Horak, now retired, says Canadians need to face the facts.
When countries have arms and they're in wars, they're going to use them. And I think we have to expect that if we're going to be in the arms industry.
And that is something the Liberals would rather not talk about.
The Liberals made the calculus a very defensive and cautious calculus that we want to keep the benefits of the deal, i.e. the $15 billion and the 3,000 jobs, but we are not interested in the costs. We want to mitigate these costs as much as possible by avoiding any kind of public discussion.
A key part of that discussion for Amnesty International is how and where those labs could be used, especially along the Saudi border with Yemen.
We're selling armaments to a country where there's a very good chance they could be deployed along that violent border, that border where war crimes and human rights violations are being committed, and that's the reason we need to pull the plug on this deal.
But is that possible? These photos taken recently by CBC News show brand new armored vehicles lined up near the dock in St. John, New Brunswick, ready for shipment somewhere overseas. Murray Brewster, CBC News, Ottawa.